Hi lovelies, welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda and here is Ballistic Gist. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share these videos, leave commentaries, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video. So guys, I came across this video for you where this man was actually telling ladies not to be with a man who actually talks about how he likes or loves independent women. A lot of people were stitching this video agreeing to what he's saying. I'm just gonna roll the clip. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section and let's dive into it.
For the ladies, this is one type of man that you need to run from if he comes into your life, right? And it's the type of man who loves that you're an independent woman. Now, of course, respecting and appreciating what you're able to do for yourself, there's no problem with that. But you have to realize there's a little bit of a trick when men love that you're an independent woman. Because what he's essentially loving is the lesser amount of responsibilities that he'll have to take on. A lot of men love independent women because, well, that's less work, that's less responsibility. And the problem is there will come a time where you need to depend on your man. There will come a time where you need a man who is very responsible, very capable. And if you get with the type of man who loves the fact that you're independent so he doesn't have to be dependable, when that time comes, he will disappoint you.
No matter what, I don't think we'll ever be able to escape biology. And I realized that because I was raised to be a strong, independent woman. And what would end up happening is that the men that I would date were men that I could not depend on, even if I wanted to, because a prerequisite to date me was not being dependable. And so it tends to set the bar very low for the type of men that you want to date. But what would end up happening every single time is that I would become resentful because I was with a man that was not dependable. And so even though I would wait for the man to kind of show up and be helpful or be reliable, his whole thing was like, hey, I'm with you because you are independent. So even if you are a strong, independent woman, you should still select a man who is reliable, who is dependable, who is a provider, because you just never know when the time is going to come where you want to turn off your hat of survival mode and just be the nurturer.
Just to add on to that, run away from the ones that say, this is what you guys fought for. Didn't you guys want equality? Well, you got it. Run away from those people because they will use and abuse you. Thankfully, I've never been in that situation, but I have seen girls who had to deal with that nonsense. You don't deserve that. Run.
Some men try to use the whole feminism movement in their favor and try to use it against you. As soon as you're expecting them to pay for your meal or to take you out on dates or anything like that, that's when they're like, you're supposed to be independent, right? There is a difference between how a woman feels about all men and how she feels about her man. I don't expect all men to do anything for me. As far as all men are concerned, I'm very independent. But when it comes to my man, I am a damsel in distress for my man. I'm not trying to be independent with my man. You know why? Because out of all the men out here, that's the one that I chose. I feel like for some women who are in these 50-50 relationships with men, it's not until something happens where you don't have your 50% where you realize exactly what kind of man you have. You're hoping that he's like, oh, I understand that you lost your job, or oh, I understand that you're sick and you can't work, but you're surprised when that same man is like, yo, that's tough, but I need this rent money. Like, what are you going to do? I don't really want to say this, but I have to. Some men are with you because the math works out. I know. Do not fight me. Don't shoot the messenger. He's with you because that's the only way he can afford that high rise. He's with you because it's the only way he can afford the car that he drives, because he likes the neighborhood he lives in. He's with you because the math works out. I'm sorry. Some men are with you because they love you, but some men are with you because it makes sense financially.
I'm really thankful for the first date when a guy doesn't say he's very attracted to independent.
Okay, if a man says that he is attracted to independent women, it is an absolute red flag for me. If you read between the lines, if a man is like, I think independent women are so attractive, he's basically saying, I do not want to support you. I do not want you to depend on me. I don't want that kind of burden. That's what it means. Instead, look for the guy who's saying, I love a woman with hobbies. I love a woman who has her own interests and passions, and stay far away from any man who says, I love an independent woman. That's not what I want for you.
When a man says, I want a woman who is independent, that's a huge red flag for me. So you want to be in a relationship with me, but you want me to never need you for anything. I remember several years ago, I was super broke and I was in a relationship with someone, and I reached out to my dad to help me pay a couple bills that I had. And he said, wait a minute. Don't you have a boyfriend? And I'm like, yes, Dad. What does it have to do with anything? And he goes, I'm going to need you to hang up the phone and ask him. And now I'm confused because my dad spoils me. He gives me whatever I want. So I'm like, wait a minute, Dad. I can't ask him. I'm asking you. What are you talking about? Ask him. He says, okay, if you can't ask him, when you get off the phone with me, I need you to break up with him. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, you have no business being with a man who you can't ask for nothing. My eyes were immediately opened, and that woke me up, and it stuck with me from that day on. And it might not be money. I might need you because I'm mentally going through a hard time or emotionally going through a hard time and I need someone to lean on. I might need you to change a tire. I'll pay somebody to do that now. But if I can't call you to do something for me and I'm always asking everybody else except for you, then I don't need to be in a relationship with someone who wants me to act like I am single.
So lovelies, apparently man was actually talking about, men who wanted or who is so into independent women. And if you're a woman and you're encounter with such men that often talk about how he likes or he loves independent women, then you should see that as a red flag, because majority of these men often like independent women, or because they feel that they wouldn't have much responsibility because you are independent, you got your own thing, you have to figure out your own thing. It's just gonna do lesser, And he went on to talk about how even if you want to be independent, there's no harm in being independent, but you should be able to also get a man who is man enough to, take care of so many responsibilities. And he shouldn't, because he is an independent person, then he's likely not to man up and do whatsoever he want to do as a man. So if you're a woman out there, I think I could relate to this. This actually gave so many men the rule not to be very responsible, because they felt that, okay, since you can actually take proper care of yourself, you can do 90% of things, or if not even 100 for yourself. So and this gives him the room to relax and enjoy all the benefits and that has to come with getting involved with an independent woman. So if you're an independent woman, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go start looking for men that just want an independent woman. You should be able to look for someone that is capable enough to also take care of you even while you're an independent person. So when I saw this video and it's actually coming from a male, I was like, wow, I think it's making a lot of sense. And I think a lot of women have fallen into this kind of trap while a man tells them that, okay, I like an independent woman, and because of this, these men do they do not contribute so much in a relationship. And when a woman decided to maybe relax and be a woman, they find it very difficult to cope, because in the onset they're already used to the independent relationship or girlfriend or whatsoever. So it tends to make them to not to even know what their duty is. So let me just relate to the video I staged before about a guy that is actually dating this lady for over 10 years, and after that he decided to propose to her inside a car. So I am thinking that, okay, I think this lady is actually an independent person, and because of that she's so busy fending for herself, and the relationship is just moving from 1 year, 2 years, 3. She don't even know that this relationship is more than the years it's supposed to be before getting, engaged or getting married. And this actually made this guy to, relax. I think it has to do with that as well. It made him to relax and took him so long for him to actually pop up the question. And on doing that, he's doing it while this lady is driving. Like, he's doing it in the process of where she's actually driving, or maybe back from work or whatsoever. So this independent thing often make guys to be so relaxed in times of relationship. And there is another video which I staged of a girl. She often support the relationship. She pay money for trips, and she at that stage she becomes so broke. This is an independent. So some of these men want independent women because they don't want a woman that they can invest in. They just want a woman that might even invest in them. That is why this lady, when she came out on TikTok, she was yelling on how she's been dating a broke guy, she's been sponsoring everything, and now she herself, she's broke. And this happens to be an independent lady. So in the process of trying to fend the relationship or the relationship, she herself is draining inside the relationship. That's why you also need a man that is capable of being there for you. Even if you are an independent person, it will get at a point in time where you need a man's support, both physically, mentally, financially, and all of that, because you are a woman. A woman is a woman. Anyways, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And don't forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.